Self up on stage. I got to restart everything. What is up, everybody? All right. I am back. I have returned. Somehow, Roe has returned, as they say on the Star Wars sequels. Thank you very much. I had a little computer problem, some internet issues, but hopefully that will remedy itself. I had my son go over to the router and push a couple of buttons, but we are back and we have such an amazing panel for you guys tonight. And we're going to dive into some very deep questions when it comes to collecting Star Wars and really collecting anything, because as collectors, we kind of tend to absorb that which we collect. And it's a very interesting thing. Like it's an interesting thing in your psyche, because we tend to, obviously from the images that you see behind me, we become our collection sometimes. But I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat who has joined us tonight. I know Danny from Comics and Cosmetics was first. I'll give her bragging rights. And then Vader Rapina, what is up, Scott? Thank you for joining us. We have, like I mentioned, we have an amazing panel backstage waiting to come on, barring any more computer issues. Ubaldo, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Who else we got? I mentioned Danny. There's a couple of people in the chat that are backstage. You will get to see their lovely faces as soon as we pop in. But again, thank you guys for joining us tonight on this very special Red 5 Roundup. We have some amazing guests. So sit tight, grab a drink and your blaster and some sunscreen, because remember, it's always sunny on Scarif. We'll be right back with the rest of the group.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Excellent. And look at all those wonderful people in the chat ready for a Red 5 Roundup discussion. What is up, everybody? Let's start going around the room with my buddy Charles from the Conversations podcast. Charles, how's it going tonight?
Fantastic. I threw up my neck dancing to that intro music. So I'll be turning like this for the rest of the night because I'm now paralyzed. So thank you very much for that.
A nice little chiropractor bill will be coming my way. Thank you very much. Yeah. Excellent. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Hey, I like that t-shirt.
Oh, yes. KFP.
Yeah, KFP. I have a sticker, and I think wasn't I in that spot?
Yes, you were. You were quite the pitch man as well.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to be talking about collectibles with everybody, and let's continue our little introduction. DJ from the Exegesis, what's up, sir?
How are you, man? Talk about collectibles. It's normally something reserved for antiques, and that I'm here, so
That is fantastic. You know what? We're all antiques in our own special way, and thanks for coming by. Absolutely. We've got another member of the Conversations podcast swinging back there behind the logo. Come on out there, my friend.
Here he is.
There he is.
Well, hello there.
I should have put the short people up top.
Then I'd finally have the high ground, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Pat, how's it going, brother?
It is going wonderfully, man. How are you?
Fantastic. You ready to talk some collectibles? I see some things behind you.
Always ready to talk about collectibles, and none of those are what
No. All right. Excellent. Excellent. I told everybody to bring 3 collectibles from your personal vault. We're going to talk about them, but I also want to kind of deep dive and discuss. I'm going to ask everybody some questions regarding collectibles and why we collect, and why is it important for people to kind of escape and be part of the stuff that we love. I've got another wonderful friend of mine from the northern regions of outer space. We were talking about that before we went on air. Heidi, how's it going?
Hi, it's great. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this discussion. It's always fun when you're on the show, but thanks for saying yes to us.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm not as huge of a collector as all of you, but I have a few things.
Excellent. You can finally see how dysfunctional the rest of the Red 5 network is when we all get together. So it's fantastic.
You guys are awesome so far.
And last but not least, the wonderful member of another one of our Red 5 network podcasts, Nicole. Peace,
Hello.
love, and Star Wars. How's it going?
Peace, love, fandoms. Used to be
True.
Star Wars. That's true.
Used to be Star Wars.
You know, and that podcast would be used and abused.
And abused.
And spearheading also the Red 5 reading. So
that is correct. And I think before I forget, I know you won't forget, but you do have a little bit of an announcement regarding Red 5 reading. Does everybody in the chat love to read? Crack open a book every so often? Yes, right?
yeah.
Yes.
What do you got, Nicole?
Oh, okay. I guess this is the time. I guess
we'll do it.
All right.
We'll do it now.
Something we're going to start doing, probably starting in November when we actually start reading the book, is I'm going to be interviewing various Red 5 podcasts and their members on the 5s, the 5, the 15th, and the 25. So I want to get to know everybody, what they're reading, and it'll be like 5 questions and kind of still seeing how this is going to go. I was really excited. I came up with the idea a couple days ago and ran it by Ro and went, hey, maybe we can write this up. Who knows? Maybe we'll change it to a video short. I have no idea, but right now my laptop's down. So I am now Miss Rectangle again to Ro, and I want to hide.
That's okay. Wonderful. Yeah, it's a great idea. And I think, it'll give everybody an opportunity to kind of geek out to some cool things that we like to read. You made the announcement what the book is, right?
Yes, I did. It's Heir to the Empire. Actually, I did that on October the 5th. You're going to notice a little bit of a trend. I mean, we are part of the Red 5, so I'm going to incorporate the 5s a lot.
Wow, that's really cool. Excellent. Thank you so much. And yeah, absolutely follow Red 5 Reading for all the reading shenanigans. It's fantastic. So before we get into, because I've got a couple of collectibles here. I also wanted to make a quick announcement. There is, if you guys are interested, you guys in the chat, there is a pinned comment in the chat. My buddy Sean Crummell has made these wonderful stickers. Let me see if I can.
Oh, cool.
They're very colorful. And let me go full screen here. Look at that.
Nice.
So this is one of his designs. They're really great. These wonderful die cut stickers. He's got several other designs that are really great. He's got an Etsy shop, which is awesome. But please go support Sean. He's a great artist. He's got his own comic book line, and he's got more stuff coming out soon. I think the website, the Etsy shop, is closed until the 22nd of December. He's on a little family hiatus. But once it is opened, head on out there. He's got some really great designs. These are stickers that are so good that I am afraid to put them anywhere, because like if a laptop will die, and then what do you do with the sticker? I mean, obviously I can get a whole bunch of these, but they're really great. Look through them. Again, pinned comment in the chat. It is fantastic. And Charles, no, we're not reading the novelization of The Last Jedi. Thank you very much.
So much for my vote. Whatever.
Your vote doesn't count.
That was you? Jeez. Let me see here. I'm gonna do some housekeeping here. I'm gonna put this guy over here, so you guys are together, and then
I'm still in the show. Awesome.
You're still in the show.
For now, don't get cocky.
Excellent. All right, so I have a couple of questions for you guys, and we'll go around. Chat, you guys can kind of weigh in as well as I ask these wonderful questions to our wonderful chat. We start collecting. For some of us, we start collecting at an early age. We are young and impressionable. There's certain movies or certain events in pop culture that really pique our interest. And obviously movies are one of them for this group in particular. But I wanted to ask Pat and Charles first, what is it about collecting that gets in our DNA? Why do we do it? We start out with what, like one Luke Skywalker action figure, and that turns into several Star Wars action figures, and then you get more. And then, before you know it, you're podcasting in front of all your toys and figures. What is it about collecting that really, like I said, gets in your DNA?
You said Pat first.
It's George's marketing genius is what it is. My first Star Wars figure was actually 2 figures, purchased simultaneously, and it just kept growing from there. Once I had all of the the power of the Force, sort of like 90s. I had all of them, and then
were those the ones that was the line where the action figures looked like they were?
Oh my God, it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Luke.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I had all of those, even down to like Stormtrooper number 9 and miscellaneous robot 14. Yeah, so I had all of them, and so I thought I was done. And then the Black Series came out, and then I bankrupted myself. So yeah.
That can do, collections do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charles, what about you? What makes you a collector, and what is it about it?
Okay, well, first of all, I can guarantee you that all of the literally hundreds of things that I had when I was young, yes, I'm old, were long gone. I had given some to some nephews and nieces who wanted them, and so my entire collection was gone. But at the time, for me, having these toys brought me into the movie. It allowed me to explore the story, and because I grew up in Montreal, there was snow 11.5 months of the year. So Hoth was my favorite setting because it was my only setting. But the good thing about that was that when springtime came, you get to rediscover all these toys that you lost in the snow, especially Stormtroopers. But that's what it was. It was recreating these stories that we knew and loved, and throwing in some of the characters, and just reliving the movie in different ways, and having the extra pieces, and having these these characters to be able to rewrite the stories in your own way was just an amazing experience, and it made you more part of the movie.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think I've heard this before, where, collections really bring you back to the first time you saw a movie or an event, the first time you experienced it. And I think for movies, for me in particular, obviously, it gives you the ability to relive that, to be part of that which you love. Obviously, in our case, it's the movies, but it's fascinating to me how deeply embedded all of this becomes. I'm going to ask Charlie next. DJ, let me know about what are some of the things that you have experienced collecting, some of the stuff that you collect, or even, some of the stuff that you talk about. Even when we are content producers, content creators, there are certain things that, really are part of us. They're embedded in our fiber. But what is it about collecting in particular that really sets us apart from, I guess, I'll call them normies, because, obviously, my wife doesn't, she saw Star Wars once and that was it. She's not even into sci-fi. And I remember my father-in-law got into my car, and I always have an action figure hanging from the rearview mirror. And he sat down and he goes, "Oh, I like your little man."
Your little man.
Yeah,
wow.
I looked at him, get out.
And he hadn't even met Pat yet. What the heck?
Right.
Little man.
My little man. DJ, so what is it about collecting that gets in our DNA?
Well, for me, it was something that we did as a kid, whether it was He-Man or G.I. Joe or Star Wars figures. whenever you would get together with the kids on the block and, oh, did you get this latest figure? Did you get this one? Oh, no. All right. Well, I got to go get that. So it was more of a, got to keep up with the Joneses. Oh, my friend has this one, so I have to go get that one. And then I have to be aware of when the next series comes out so I can get all of those and rub it in their face that I got it before they did. And it kind of grew from there, whether it was in, for me, I always played with the toys. I never thought of myself as a collector until I got much older. I always took them out of the wrappers. I always,
I mean, as kids, we do that, right?
Yeah.
As adults,
so much fun with it, and then it slowly seeps in. And then when you tell people, oh, I'm a fan of this, then they start buying you things of whether it's Star Wars or Harry Potter or any of the other 15 other fandoms that I really enjoy. And then it becomes something that you really just can't live without. So even on my latest health stuff, when I was at a hospital in Houston at the cancer center, I had a stormtrooper blanket that I carried with me because it brought me comfort.
Yes.
And it was there, and it was, it just filled me with hope, which to me is what Star Wars was all about. Hope. And I couldn't live without it, can't live without it, never will.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's very well said. I think it does bring us comfort. And I love the fact that we do have friends that buy us stuff. I have a coworker who I guess she was at a thrift store and she saw these guys, and they just, I got a message to come up to her desk, and she's like, hey, I found these guys for you. I know you're into Star Wars. I'm like, oh my God. And to me, that's like special. Like everybody knows somebody that likes, one thing or the other, but it's nice when people like think about you in that special way. So it's fantastic. Heidi, you and I have had several shows, especially with Prop Store, and they have allowed us to kind of browse through their catalog of things that they are auctioning off. And these collections are massive. This next one that we're going to be featuring and talking to them later in the month is going to be, it's phenomenal. But you've seen many collections, and again, not just Star Wars stuff, but just a lot of movie paraphernalia, and people hold on to that stuff. What's your take on just collectibles and what they do to us as people, as characters in our own movies per se?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that's great about my channel is that I get people messaging me saying, like, say if I'm talking about a particular movie or show, and they say, I own that piece. And I'm always like, or I was in the movie and I wore that outfit. That's always like, oh my God, amazing. And then they can give me more details about it. And then I don't know if I told you this, Ro, but recently I got contacted by this guy who has been going around buying up all these costumes and props from all of these different shows and movies. And he wants to open up a museum in the Midwest. Wow. So I'm actually having him on at the end of the month to chat with him about it. So
yes. Where in the Midwest?
Where?
Minnesota.
Oh.
Okay. Is that considered the Midwest?
Yeah, for sure.
As a Canadian. Here. Charles, I think Charles and I are probably close in age, but I was going to say, so my very first experience collecting was I used to get these Tetley tea ceramics. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So like they had little like gingerbread man, and they had like, they did like nursery characters. So that was sort of my first thing. And I still have all of them to this day. But the one thing, like you guys will probably have a regret, like Charles was saying, he got rid of a lot of things. The one thing that I really regret getting rid of is I had like almost a complete set of Star Wars cards. The collectible cards. And I started with so I had the orange set. I didn't quite have a full set of orange, but I had a complete set of blue. And you go buy it to the store and you buy the gum and everything. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. And the blue one, I think the blue set was the very first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, yeah. So maybe the blue, I thought the orange one was the first one, but anyway, I ended up getting rid of them and then I was like, oh my God, why did I do that? One of those stupid things that you were thinking, why did I, do that? But yeah, so I've always been, I'm not as active a collector as all of you, but I've always really appreciated collecting. And of course, going through the catalog, the prop store catalog, I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I had, $20,000
Right? Yeah.
at my disposal. Only to, if only to have an enormous, deep pockets to be able to purchase some of those things.
They're fabulous because they really do. They, like DJ was saying, I mean, they really do give us comfort. And I don't know, it's just like, I guess, creating content and talking to friends about the stuff that we love. It's kind of a therapy. They give us comfort. They put us at peace. Just like Grogu and Yoda are on Nicole's lap.
Well, they're
Isn't that
so
right?
cuddly. They're so cute and cuddly too.
Nicole, you and I, we've gone to C2E2, we've gone to Joliet Star Wars Day, and obviously we get to shake hands with some awesome fans. Tell me a little bit about your experience with collecting stuff. What is it that you love collecting, and what does it mean to you specifically?
So it's interesting because I know tonight I just picked up Star Wars stuff. And I'm a huge collector of things. Like I have a collection of mugs that it's crazy. A collection of books. Oddly enough, I decided not to do the books tonight. I thought, I'll wait for that. I also love collecting artwork, and that's like one of my joys. Like when I find artwork that I absolutely love, that's what I'm usually attracted to. Or I also have a lot of collections that's not non-Star Wars, like Wizard of Oz. I got a lot of collector's pieces that are from Wizard of Oz, as well as some collector's books also that's non-Star Wars. So, and I really love. It's like in their dust jackets and original and antiques. So, and I have to agree with you on something. Yes, when it comes to people finding out that you like certain things, it explodes, y'all. Like, I have like one Grogu I think I've paid for. One, because the one like right here next to me is huge and takes up the whole camera. And I didn't buy him. He was a wonderful birthday gift from somebody who's like a sister to me. My parents, got me in one, and I pretty much have Yoda. I got, but that's called thrifting. This is called really good thrifting, y'all, because he's like 5 foot, or he's not 5 foot, 3 foot. So
3 foot. Yeah. That's funny.
Life size.
well, right, he's almost cat size, you guys. So, but he's not that much. Okay, well, okay, he's like maybe he's about 2 foot, but he's about as tall as you. It's all good.
Almost.
It's all good. Nothing wrong with that. Yoda was wise. Come on, Pat. You got to admit that he was very wise.
Yes.
Okay.
That big Grogu on your left side could fit a little better if your camera was.
You mean like that? Like, can you see me? Because that's just how big this one is.
Yeah.
Like you can see this is eyeball. I'm not on my regular laptop because my laptop had issues, y'all. So I'm sorry, but
I always give Nicole crap for her vertical orientation. And I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. But I'm
Andrew,
here. And I'm celebrating and at least being cuddly with all my Star Wars stuff, animals, and
stuff. Absolutely.
Because try, we do not try.
A quick hello to both Andrews. I see Andrew from Science Fictionary and Andrew Haley. We lovingly call Andrew number 2.
Oh, and I've also recently, in the last couple of years, started getting a lot of really cool popcorn buckets because for some odd reason, AMC really started like.
Oh, that's right.
Like I've got like Ghostbuster car, Ant-Man helmet, Barbie car. I'm like, dude, the Barbie car was going off of eBay like crazy for expensive the first night alone. So I'm like, okay, so it's gonna stay inside like the box.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. I think the first popcorn bucket I bought was the big R2D2, which I forgot what movie it came out of.
Mhm.
It
Well,
was,
it's
I
like
think it was Rise of Skywalker, maybe? That was like the last Star Wars movie that,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, my
Um,
AMC didn't have that at the time. They had just the regular tins. But
oh,
it's like all of a sudden they started amping up, I feel like in the last year or two, where all
yeah,
of a sudden I'm like, dude, these are not like regular tins anymore. These
yeah,
are like
Mhm.
really nice. So, and the more, or like the Thor helmet, hammer. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
that's really creative.
yeah.
So,
They're pretty
I
cool.
didn't buy
Pretty cool.
so.
All right. So let's go back up the scale here. And
Up the
Charles,
ladder.
what did you bring for show and tell, Charles?
Love you, Pat.
Let me get my Star Trek stuff here.
What?
Sorry.
We talked about this. We
Yes.
talked about this.
We-
You had one job.
Captain
Like I said,
Jean-Luc
yeah, I was going to say, like I said, it's not just Star Wars. You can do Star Trek, the other white meat.
Okay.
Oh, really? Well, I wouldn't have brought Star Trek anyways. I would have
All
brought
So the
other
first
stuff.
I'm going to show you tonight is a gift that I got from a friend, Eric, at work. Pat knows him as Errolk because he's the size of Hulk. And he gave this to me, and very early on in our at work, and it's something very close to me, and I've kept this all the time, and it's fantastic. It's the original portfolio.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Artwork. Now this is OG stuff, so you can see a lot of tattered and broken down edges and stuff, adding life and much love to it. But inside, the prints are absolutely pristine.
Very
it's
nice.
beautiful.
Wow.
And I introduced Pat very early in our relationship when we first met, and after the Star Wives have met, and just the absolutely amazing artwork that he did is inspiring. And I've always loved his concept art. So when Eric gave this to me, it was an amazing gift. And he was just sort of, he didn't have space for it, and he knew that I love Star Wars. So it's just I absolutely I look at these all the time, and we even had an episode that we did from on Ralph McQuarrie's art and how influential it is, and still remains influential literally to this day for all of Star Wars. So yeah, that's my first piece, and a very treasured piece of my collection, and it was something that was given to me, so that will forever be an amazing piece.
How many prints are in that collection?
That is a great question. Let me count them. 1, 2.
And I think one of my favorite Ralph McQuarrie pre paintings for Star Wars is that one that you just showed, with the stormtrooper holding a lightsaber, because
Yes,
it's kind of, it's very foreign when it comes to, the story. I mean, there's no stormtrooper that holds a lightsaber. So I think, the fact that we have that image is kind of stark and unique. So that's fascinating. It's a lovely collection.
Yeah, and they even released some pop figures based on the original art,
Right.
Of these characters. So it's Pat's got a couple right back there. Yeah, so it's very very treasured piece for sure.
Excellent. And do you know, I won't hold you to it, and if it's too personal, do you know what something like that is worth nowadays?
You know what? I've never actually priced it out because I never even considered selling it. There's other things that I've picked up at thrift shops and stuff like that I've considered reselling. I don't know. I mean, I would say that the tatteredness of the packaging would reduce its value sort of commercially, but that's what I love about it is the used part of it. It's been looked at, it's been loved, and that to me adds an infinite amount of value to it, and therefore will never be sold.
Just like Pat.
I've got a lot more wear and tear than he does. Let's face it. Come on now.
He's not wrong,
He's been looked at and loved. And speaking of Pat, all right, Pat, what do you got?
Well, my first one was not gifted; it was purchased. And like I said, my first action figure that I bought was 2, and because I bought them at the same time, so they count as one because I don't think I grabbed Han first, but I may have. But I have Han and Chewie.
Ooh.
You can see how muscular Chewie is.
Yes.
He's power of the Force for sure.
Right out of the gym.
That's right. That's right. He's part of Wrecker's powerlifting team. Yeah. So these were shortly after I saw. How was it me?
Self-inflicted.
Not long after I saw the film, I went out and purchased these, and well, they've been sort of the catalyst for my collecting ever since.
Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna ask. Did you have any other Power of the Force figures besides those?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
It's funny because the Power of the Force line, when it comes to the action figures, is kind of like around the period where I stopped like purchasing Star Wars action figures. My very first action figure, and this is because my dad found it. I think he found it at work, but it was the Princess Leia action figure, uncarded. And then the first one that I bought was C-3PO, Darth Vader, and I think it was C-3PO and Darth Vader. But I had 3PO, Darth Vader, and Leia, and I was like making scenes, at recess, with the rest of the kids. Those are the only figures I had. So I don't think those. No, don't even say it. Don't even say it.
Baseballs don't go there.
Nicole, I have a special message from Danny.
Aw, thank you.
Okay.
I try.
Yeah, get a room.
I get a lot of really good tips from her, and I utilize them, so it helps.
Good. Yeah, good.
Part of this is part, so thank you.
So Eric from SB Transmission says he loved Power of the Force. What was the line? Was that the same line that included that coin? Some of the action figures had the silver coin. Was that Power of the Force?
Yeah, see, once you were like me and you bought them all, then they re-released them with coins, and you're like, well, now I need to buy them again for the coin.
Yeah, it was the second release that had the coins.
Yeah, that's too funny. All right, DJ, you are up. What did you bring for show and tell?
I'm trying to decide. All right, so I have three things. I think I'm going to go with this one first.
Followed the rules.
Ooh.
Wow.
So this one was one I ordered from a friend of mine that does replica helmets. As soon as I was accepted into Red 5, I had ordered that because, as Ro always says, it's always sunny on Scarif, and I could not have a podcast in the Red 5 network that did not have some sort of Scarif something. So I ordered that one. It does hold a lot of special things just because Red 5 means so much to me. All the friends that I've made there, the family that we've become, it's really something that's special. So that means a lot. It's always right there on my wall. Every time I can turn around, even when I'm working, I can look at it. And if I'm having a bad day, I know that my Red 5 friends have got my back. So that's number one for me.
That's wonderful. Can you pass it up to me? Can you just hold it up?
As if Ro has room.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you so much. But you know what? It's one of those helmets that is just very unique, and I love stormtroopers, as you can tell. I love anything Imperial is fantastic to me, and the Short Trooper is definitely a very unique looking, helmet, and it's beautiful. So obviously Scarif close to my heart, and I just want to say, DJ, I think I knew a little bit of that story, but hearing it like complete from beginning to end, and your, I guess, what this little group means to you, it really warms the cockles of my heart. You don't want to go around walking around with cold cockles, by the way, but it's a very heartwarming story. I love that. Thank you so much, DJ.
Sure.
Hold on a second. That's yes, that's Imperial issue for all you guys. But it's fantastic. I love hearing stories like that. And like I said, all collectibles have a certain story. And it's great to hear everybody's little takes on certain items in our collections. Heidi, you I love when we sit and chat about costumes on our collaborations. But what did you bring for show and tell?
Well, mine's going to be completely different than everybody else. I have, it's in a Ziploc bag, which is really terrible, but I have a flower crown that is from the series Anne with an E. Anne with an E was shot in Toronto where I live, and they had an auction. And so I bought this. This was worn by Anne I think it was in season 2. It's a little bit flat. So all of these wreaths were like handmade by the costume department with faux flowers and paper and so on. So I didn't pay too much for it, but I thought it was so sweet. And it was just something that I could have that I thought would be really nice. I might put it in a shadow box and put it on my wall. And I love the series so much. And it's funny too, because I just had the opportunity to interview the costume designer the other day. So that made it all the more special, and why I thought I would share this all with you today.
I'm geeking out because I love Anna Green Gables, period.
And then like romper room.
Yeah, so I'm just like, and now I'm like, okay, do I want to show all the Star Wars, or do I need to go to the next room, grab all my Wizard of Oz stuff? Because that actually outweighs all my.
Well, I mean, I'm just like, I don't really, because I have some Funko stuff, but I didn't really feel any of that was really special. So I just wanted to share something that was a little special for me.
Aww.
I hope that makes sense.
Damn.
And Ro, while I'm at it, can I mention also, like, I have 2 kids, and that my one son, my oldest, he's really into collecting.
Mm-hmm.
So his room is filled with collectibles, and it's the same thing. Like, if there's a birthday or Christmas or what have you, oftentimes that's what we do. We give him something to add to his collection, or he'll just ask for it. So it's a great way to get it as gifts.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the wonderful thing about collecting. And I guess it's the wonderful thing too about pop culture and stuff like that, because there's, obviously we understand that this is kind of a business, but they release some really interesting and cool little items that allow us to continue to, keep whatever it is that we love alive. So that's fantastic.
Can we see that again real quick?
The wreath?
The wreath?
Oh,
Yes.
Sure, of course. So as you can see, it's in like this Ziploc bag.
Right.
I also have a parasol from the show too that I bought, but I thought it would be harder to show. So here it is. It's a little bit flattened, but it's very, very simple. But I think that when I was rewatching the video, the costume designer said that they had to make hundreds of these, I believe, for the party scene. Mm-hmm. So, but this one was worn by the actress who played Anne. So that's why it's a little more special.
So my daughter's here behind me, and she's geeking out because that's her favorite show.
That's awesome.
So I was telling her about it. So yeah, sorry.
No, and I was going to say, so I was mentioning earlier, I'm interviewing this guy named William, he bought a bunch of the Anna Green Gables costumes. So I'm interviewing him at the end of the month. So maybe you guys will hop in for that.
I will.
Yeah. And
I'm like all about it.
Yeah. And like, he's just this young guy, but he's just been like going around buying up all these auction items. And so he bought like a bit. And then so I introduced him to the costume designer just to say, she said, if he wants any designs or what have you, I'd be happy to help. And so it's just such a wonderful, like, everyone's so, it's just collaborative and everyone wants to sort of help each other with it. And I thought that was really, really nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Like I said, stories are great when it comes to our collectibles. Yeah. Nicole, what did you go and grab?
Well, I might have to change up one of my three because now I'm like, shoot, I gotta have a story. I don't think anybody really have a story. But I have to share my newest. So I'm gonna start first. I was gonna do this last, but I'm gonna start off first. One, I am all for supporting our local artists. I'm all for supporting my friends and things. And anybody that follows me knows that I have a collection, well, small collection right now, called Movies in Miniature by Mill Media. And I recently added this to my collection. I'm so excited. I cannot believe this detail of that. It's the scene from Ahsoka.
Wow.
You guys see, it's not even as big as my hand. He comes to Joliet Star Wars Day. He's at C2E2. I think he's got something actually in Obi-Wan Rancho Museum, I think. And he's just this amazing local artist I got to meet. And he's just fantastic. And I just love his stuff. He does all various fandoms, not just Star Wars. But when he did this recently, I hope you guys can see that. It's just gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
It
Is
is.
it done? Is it painted, Nicole?
It's painted. He hand painted these. They're miniature. They literally fit in the size of, look, my
He
palm.
must have to use like a magnifying glass or something when he's doing it.
I don't know. He just does amazing
brilliant.
job. I absolutely love his stuff. I've got other ones like from Grogu. That was actually what started my collection. I also have like When Harry Met Sally, which is really cool. I've got a bunch of them. I've even gifted my parents some from like with their favorite artists like Elvis Presley or Phil Collins. And he just does this phenomenal job. And I absolutely love it. And when I saw this one recently, I'm like, Bill, was it sold yet? Because I literally thought it was sold because his stuff does sell fast. And thankfully, I was the first one to say, hey, did it sell yet? So, yeah. So, Movies in Miniature, this is Bill Media. So, and again, he's local to Illinois. And ever since I saw his first piece of artwork, I always knew, I'm like, I have to have something from him. So, there it started.
We saw him at Joliet Star Wars Day, right?
And C2E2.
And C2E2, but we spent a lot of time at his desk at his table in Joliet because there was just so many little canvases like that were hand painted that I just wanted to grab all of them, but they were so well done.
Yeah, it's amazing. I know at C2E2 last year he pretty much almost sold out. He was so people just loved his stuff that he was selling out very, very well last year, which was a good thing. So
awesome. What do you guys think of autographs? I'll do my first one. So this is a tin from episode 1, and I think the inside of the tin. Let's see what's on here. I actually put in some extra things. It says official Star Wars Fan Club 2005. It's got a little card. Celebration 2 ID. But this is just stuff that I put in there. But I think this came with it. It's a Star Wars Episode 1 Darth Maul widescreen trading card.
Jeez.
2 of 5. And then a cool little Darth Vader sticker. But I think on the inside, they are Episode 1 trading cards that are widescreen. And, the thing about Episode 1, when the movie first came out, I actually traveled to Los Angeles to the Grauman's Chinese Theater to wait in line for 2 nights outside the theater with other Star Wars nerds for, obviously the chance to go see the movie at the Man's Chinese Theater. It was an amazing experience to spend the night outside on the street with other fans. It was such a fun time. And this tin was autographed by Ray Park.
Amazing.
And personalized to Ray Park.
How did that happen?
Let's see. When I came back from Los Angeles, there must have been, I wonder if it was Celebration 2, because since I have the ID in there. But I remember it was obviously it wasn't really a Star Wars event. I think it was a science fiction event, and then they happened to be there. But I think that was the same time that I met Carrie Fisher with my son. And I always have this wonderful story of Carrie Fisher so on her table, she's got, pens and stuff like that, because you go in there and you meet her. But she had like a little glass jar with Fruit Loops in it. And when my son and I got to the front of the table, she gave my son a Fruit Loop. And I will never forget the fact that Carrie Fisher gave my son a Fruit Loop while we were getting her autograph. So it's fantastic. And the tins, there are other tins for episode 2 and episode 3, but this one I love because obviously, I think you can get a Ray Park autograph, but this one really demonstrates that I actually met him because I told him to put 2 row. And I think there's a picture. This is before cell phones had cameras.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like an actual photo that I printed out of him and I shaking hands, looking at each other and looking at the tin. And you can tell it was the 90s because I had my big ass Nextel phone strapped to my belt. Very funny.
I was going to say it's really nice that it was a white Sharpie, because it actually, because if it had been black, it wouldn't have looked as nice.
See it, right? You couldn't see it.
Yeah. Do they usually have different color? Oh, it's silver. That's even better. Do they usually have different color Sharpies at the tables?
I had never noticed that. It was always black Sharpies with the pictures because obviously they're pictures. But I think when they started signing different items, then they did kind of switch things up a little bit when it comes to the Sharpies. So absolutely. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Charles, let's go up for your number 2 item because I can't wait to see what else you got.
So, funny fact, my wife and I had our honeymoon in Prince Edward Island, and we see Lucy Maud Montgomery's home just as we were visiting Cavendish Beach on PEI. So there's a very cool.
I do not know this cool fact. Okay, we'll talk later.
So for those of you who don't know, Lucy Maud Montgomery is essentially the Margaret Atwood of the state. Oh no, she's Canadian too. Never mind. Okay.
More like go Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
That's the equal American to that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both amazing authors and writers.
Very cool. So my number 2, there's 2 things about this one piece. First of all, he's my favorite Star Wars character. And I'll show it to you here. It's Qui-Gon Jinn.
Mm-hmm.
So the other very, very unique fact about this figure, not doll, not man, it's a
man. Wow.
Man, wow. He will always remain in this packaging because this is a gift for my 50th birthday from Pat and Kelly and the whole family. With much love, of course, and without Pat as my co-host for the show, and I'll echo DJ's comments, is that without Pat and our show, we wouldn't be part of the Red 5 Network, and we wouldn't be speaking to all of you tonight. So this will always remain in this condition because this represents a whole new life that we've experienced together, which has been amazing. And aside from the fact that it's a collectible, it's also the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary, and it was my 50th birthday. It will remain this way, and it's a very close piece to my heart. So that's number 2.
Wow, that's very nice. I know, when I was thinking about putting this show together, I know all of our items have like little stories. I just didn't I couldn't imagine how personal and deep these stories were, because they, collectibles really, they really are part of who we are. And I find that interesting. As a collector, I find it interesting, but then I kind of equate, my own stories with other people's stories. And it is fascinating how very similar we are when it comes to our fandom, our love of that certain whatever it is. I just think I think it's great, and I think we should kind of celebrate that in each other, for as long as we could, as long as we draw breath. I think it's something really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling, and it's each one of those items brings a different set of memories, and that's what's the best part of it. And I got that gift in St. Augustine because we had done this 50th surprise birthday party that they all pulled a ruse over my head. And so that was a wonderful experience there. I think Andrew, if he's still in the chat, Science Fictionary, that's like his top place that he likes to visit. So yeah, St. Augustine, if you haven't visited there, it's phenomenal. So
very nice. Very nice. Cool beans. Excellent. Thank you very much for that. All right, Pat.
Yes.
You're up.
All right. So don't let him fool you. The only reason that Qui-Gon is still in the package is because he's got one that's outside the package.
No.
Charles, is that true? Fess up.
No, it would not be. If we had like 3 of them or none of them, that would remain closed because that's one of the ones that I'm not going to take out to play with because it's too the entire piece of it is too important. So
it's funny, as when I was younger I used to buy 2 of everything, one to open and one to keep in the box. Obviously, once I got married and had a mortgage and all that stuff, that kind of was scaled back a little bit. But,
quite a bit.
But it is fascinating how were there any things, Charles and Pat, were there any items in the Star Wars collectible arena that you guys gravitated for? Like for me, obviously, anything Imperial, I put kind of at the top of my list because I love the Empire and Vader and stormtroopers and stuff like that. But did you guys gravitate to one thing rather than the other? Obi-Wan, yeah.
On my part, it would be anything that we could spend time recreating scenes from Star Wars. If anybody who follows us knows that we love just trying to recreate scenes from the movies, from the TV shows with these characters. So we grabbed the ones that we knew we needed to piece those things together.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. Before a trip back up to Canada, Charles was in dire need of a snowtrooper.
Exactly.
Another one. Yeah.
Yes.
To replace the that I lost. Yeah.
Too funny. All right, DJ, what are you going to grab from my room that you also have for your number 2?
Did Pat do his number 2?
No, you didn't.
No, I'll be right back.
Didn't.
No, yeah. This number 2. Right. Sorry. Yes, this one. My number 2 is the first set of Star Wars films that I received, and they are VHS, as you can see.
Wow.
However, they're also widescreen.
Very
amazing.
Nice.
So these are like the current format. Back then, everyone thought it was lame because on your TVs you had the black lines on the top and the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, it cuts off the thing. It doesn't cut off the thing.
I know.
It's a whole thing. But so these were that format, and I'm like, I'm like, they're cutting off the sides when they put it on a regular TV.
Right.
So for one Christmas, both my parents got me the VHS, and one was the regular, the other was widescreen, and they're like, well, you can't keep them both, and I said, well. What you say, but I ended up keeping this one, so these have been watched many times, and they are obviously the pre-special edition versions,
right?
And they may or may not have been digitized for viewing on my smartphone.
That's very nice. Yeah, I like that. Star Wars is one of those franchises that It's almost like Blade Runner. Blade Runner has like what, 5 different director's cuts and producers cuts and different versions. I mean, Star Wars is kind of like that because they were still editing even after the movie was out in the theaters. They were still kind of like fixing things and tinkering with the audio mix and certain things that were in the film. And obviously, we all know that George Lucas likes to tinker with his own stuff. We've got the special editions and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I must have like every version, every incarnation of Star Wars, the original trilogy. I still have my laser discs. I still have,
Do you have the Laserdisc player though?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
nice.
I don't mess around.
Oh my God. Does it work still?
It should still work because it
That's
worked
amazing.
when I unplugged it. So it's it definitely should work.
That was like a flash in the pan. That wasn't even a thing for very long.
Yeah. So and the cool thing about the Laserdisc, I've got 4 different versions, but there was one set of the original trilogy, and I don't even think that they recreated that particular set on the subsequent format that was either DVD. It was DVD after that because Blu-ray came afterwards. But there was a probably the only version of the original trilogy that had George Lucas and some of the actors do commentary on the Laserdisc while the movie is playing on one of the audio tracks. So I still have that. I had bought that set for myself and it was really expensive. And then one year, friends of mine at work, again, knowing that I'm into Star Wars, bought me the same set. And obviously I didn't tell them, hey, I already have this. I would, since I buy 2 of everything, it was perfect, perfect for me. So, absolutely loved it. But yeah, I have all my Laserdisc movies along with the Laserdisc player, in case, we have to all hide in a bunker and there's internet. I'm ready to go. And Danny, no, you can't come to my bunker and watch movies. Yeah, absolutely. All right, DJ, what do you got for your number 2?
Well, you did say bring something with stories. So I did. And this time I have another helmet.
Oh, okay.
This one.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that.
So
very nice. And that is the one that you currently troop with, correct?
this is my 501st helmet. It is Inferno Squad, Gideon Hask. Officially, it's TI 21425 is my designation with the 501st. But this is 100% handmade, screen accurate, absolutely everything with it, and is approved. I get to bring a lot of people's smiles with this helmet. In fact, I just was able to troop the MD Anderson Cancer Center last time I was there, and really got to the first time I think ever that I had a kid bring tears to my eyes. And the nurse is like, well, he probably won't even get out of his bed. He's really depressed. He doesn't even want anything to do with anybody. I showed up at the door. He jumped out of his bed and ran up and gave me a hug and said, I just made his year.
Wow.
And I'm crying and he starts crying. And I'm like, so we're not supposed to really, but I ended up taking off my helmet and explained to him that he had lymphoma. I had lymphoma 30 years ago. Look where I am now. Keep the faith. And you know what? Maybe this could be you down the line. And it was so emotional and so powerful. And that's why I do what I do with the 501st, just to give back. because people were there to give back to me when I was 19 going through all this stuff. And to have that happen and for me to be able to give that back was just absolutely amazing. So there's my number 2.
That's beautiful. You know, DJ, I've said this privately, but I'll say it publicly as well. You make the Red 5 stronger and better, and I thank you for being who you are. We absolutely love you, DJ, and thank you very much for sharing that story. It's wonderful. That's beautiful. Yeah. Amazing stuff. You know, and it's interesting too, because the 501st, you know, their tagline is "Bad guys doing good," and obviously, you know, they go around the country doing different events, but really working with a lot of charities and things like that. And it's just fun to see. I mean, we've had them at our Scarif Con events. We've had them. You know, there's some of them that are part of the Red 5 network. WSTR, Todd, and the gang at on their show. So it's really great to be able to be, you know, a little part of that, especially here in Chicago when we get to see them, you know, trooping and walking around with folks and stuff like that at C2E2 here in Chicago. It's fantastic. Wouldn't you agree, Nicole?
Truth. I'm like, yeah, my heartstrings have been pulled. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, Diggory. Yes, and absolutely. You know, and we've talked about this, I think, even at C2E2, that when you're cosplaying, you really do. It changes you. And, you know, because that was the first time I ever really cosplayed beyond costume, you know? And yeah, it changes you.
It sure does. Nicole, since we're on you, what do you got for your number?
So I'm just going to change it. And I'm going to be a rebel. I'm just going to change it. Because I really didn't bring anything except for the last thing that has slightly a story. Because I really wasn't thinking about that, and all I was thinking about was Star Wars. So I'm just gonna like show you all these guys because you know every single one of them, like thrifting, but gift. Yeah, my daughter gave me them. You know what I mean? Like they each, you know, have been specially given to me except for 2 of them, and then this one was actually pure luck. I had been wanting a Bantha with a Tusken Raider, and I found one thrifting.
Oh, he's so cute.
And I had to have him because I love Troy Kurtzer. You know, he was one of the Tusken Raiders that did the languages, so I had to have him. You know, I had like my sister-in-law gave me Chewbacca. You know, and then you know he also saw Grogu that doesn't even fit in the camera. So I've just kind of begun to fill in this whole area here. As if I'm E.T. just hiding in the stuffed animals because I actually know that I have more and they're not like in close range right now. So, and most of them have been gifts. Most of them have been gifts. And again, the only 2 that I have here that I have purchased actually is from thrifting is Yoda here. And then again, this was pure luck. One week I literally said I wanted this and found it just right thrifting and I loved it. So
awesome. That's too awesome.
Yeah. So
you talked about thrifting, and I love going to thrift stores, and I find a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I find tons. I gotta grab. There's what is the ship from Rogue One?
The U-wing.
The U-wing. Yeah, I found one of those.
Right. Ooh. Well, because I've got like books, coffee mugs. I've got coloring books. I've got a lot of stuff that I've thrifted. Star Wars, you know. And also Wizard of Oz and Narnia stuff. But like when it comes from people that have gifted me stuff, what I notice is I get a lot of stuffed animals. I get some stuff, some figurines once in a while and stuff. But these guys were the ones that were close by in my arm's reach. Because again, as I'm building them up around me.
Sometimes when I'm on a break, if I'm on lunch at work, I head over to there's a downtown. There's a Goodwill.
Not mine.
I found this.
Nice.
Wow.
I mean, you did gift.
Wow.
Although I would like to make a special note. Ro did gift me a blaster when I was Princess Vespa, and that made my day.
Princess Vespa.
Seriously. And then I couldn't stop playing with it the rest of the time.
The only thing is I had to hide this because I was in a work vehicle and I didn't want any questions asked, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy.
Like, yeah,
Agreed.
I didn't want to get shot by Chicago's finest.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a good idea. Oh, look at DJ showing off. I
There you
love
go.
it.
Yes, yeah. Us and our toys. Oh,
I will say, and this kind of mirrors Pat, is I actually did thrift. Hold on, I'll just grab it real quick. Wow, as my lighting gets crappy. Sorry, y'all. You're about to see my bookcase. You see this? You see that?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
nice.
in-
Silver
It's
case.
in the plastic, y'all. It's in
Wow.
the plastic. Yeah, Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. Yep,
Nice.
the gold, is that the gold box?
it is the gold box. Yes, it is.
Oh, wow, and it's still sealed.
It was
Mhm.
sealed. I'm like,
Nice.
this. I saw it, and I'm like, I went back, policies, and it was still there in the case, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm buying it.
Yeah,
Gotta buy this. So,
that's too cool.
yeah. I hear you, Pat. I hear you. But these will not be opened.
Do you have a VHS machine?
I
Even-
do.
Even if you wanted to open it, that's cool.
No.
No.
Too funny, too funny. All right, Heidi, you are up. What you
Well,
got?
First of all, I want to say, DJ, I really appreciated your story. This is my first time meeting you, and I'm getting to know you really well, and I really appreciate that. And actually, I was at Toronto Comic Con, or Fan Expo, they call it, and the 501st were there. And one of the things that they do that I think is really awesome is you can go in and get pictures taken, but they take donations for Sick Kids Toronto, which is, such great stuff that they're doing. And the kids have such a great time, and the adults have a really good time too.
Yeah.
So, Ro, this is really weird because you were talking about Blade Runner earlier, and I happen to have a briefcase
nice.
edition of Blade Runner. My story behind this is one year Christmas, I think it's probably about 10 years ago. My husband and I met over Blade Runner. We love Blade Runner. It's our favorite movie of all time. And it's probably one of the reasons why we got married, which is kind of weird. A little weird, but anyway, so this is a 5 disc edition. It's got the director's cut and everything, but what's also fun, so it looks like Deckard's briefcase. It's not scale or anything, but here I have to just move my mic for a second so I can open it. And then inside, this is my favorite part. It's got the unicorn.
Oh, nice.
So I love that.
That is beautiful.
And it's very light, but it is like origami looking, but it's chrome of some kind. And then it also has one of the little flying cars as well.
Oh,
So,
nice. I
which
love
is kind
that.
of cool. It's kind of neat that it came with that. So yeah, so what happened was one year my husband and I were like, it's Christmas, and we had the kids were really young. And so we said, hey, instead of, we're just going to be buying gifts for the kids and so on, instead of buying each other gifts, why don't we just get this together? And then pretty much every year we crack it open and we watch it. And my favorite part about it is all the behind the scenes, like with Sid Mead, the production design, the costume design. That's probably one of my favorite parts of it. So anyway, so that's it. My little briefcase. It was funny too because I couldn't find it earlier. I was like, where the hell did that go? I found it in a box. So I'm gonna take it out.
Yeah, absolutely. You should put it part of your background.
I should. It would actually look good like in the set,
Right.
right? Because it's
Yes.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I will. That's a great suggestion. I will do that.
Excellent. That's very cool. Yeah. People in the chat loving Blade Runner.
And I highly recommend marrying somebody who, well, Ro, I know, sorry, I don't want to do that to you, but I highly recommend in most cases marrying somebody who you have the same passions for.
But must be nice.
It's true.
Some of you know, Nick specifically knows in the chat that I started a podcast with my wife called "My Wife Hates Sci-Fi."
That's so awesome! I love
we
it.
we only made it to 3 movies because unfortunately she had to watch sci-fi and she just couldn't do it, so she just made it to 3 movies.
Self-fulfilling prophecy on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys seen the one where they show Star Wars to somebody who's never seen Star Wars, and then they have somebody explain Star Wars who's never seen Star Wars or something? Have you guys ever seen the YouTube video about that? It's so funny.
Yeah.
That this person tries to explain Star Wars but has no clue what's going on. This is so funny. Yeah.
That is too funny. Too funny. All right. So my next one is, we're talking about the Red 5 Network, and obviously we've met so many wonderful people through collaborating with each other and being on each other's shows and really hanging out. When we do our live events here in Chicago, people travel, and it's been a wonderful experience. We started it in 2020. I started the podcast with Brad in 2019. But really, it has really blossomed into a nice little community. And like I said, we've met a lot of wonderful people. The first year that we did Scarif Con at the comic book shop, I was, prior to that, somehow one of the special effects artists contacted me and wanted to be on the show to talk about Rogue One and the Rise of Skywalker. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. What are you working on now? And he says, we're just finishing up Rise of Skywalker. And my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh my God, how do you know about me? And apparently he was working at ILM in Singapore and just happened to find the podcast and started listening to it and just wanted to be on the show. So we met, we did 2 shows with him, and you guys obviously know him. He's been on the show a couple of times. It's Yoshi Vu. When he came to Chicago, he gave us a whole bunch of these really nice posters. One for the comic book shop that we did the event at. He signed the top of it, Rise of Skywalker. But he went one further with me, and it's something that I really appreciate him doing. He asked me a question. He says, do you like X-Wings? And I said, yeah, of course I like X-Wings. So he went out and purchased an X-Wing model, and he built it, signed it, and painted it in Singapore. I don't know if he did it in Singapore, but he did it on his own, and he sent it to me. And this is Poe Dameron's X-Wing that you can see his signature down there, Yoshi Vu. But I find it really cool, and it's obviously a nice addition to my collection. I just noticed that there's a date on here on the bottom. I never even flipped it around.
Oh.
It's either a date or the number. He must have done this to all the boys. He must have gifted this to all the boys. But this is a wonderful X-Wing that he made out of it was a kit, but he put it together. He painted it and sent it to me. So it's really a nice gesture. And obviously, along with the poster, it's cool because I can tell people, I know the guy that worked on this movie. So it's
awesome.
It's really fantastic. And like I said, having been able to, do this show and, organize these collaborations with a lot of the Red 5 folks and, not really also non-Red 5 accounts. Obviously, Heidi, you and I met online. We've got other, other accounts that we love to collaborate with. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been amazing to have been, afforded the opportunity just to meet all these wonderful, wonderful people.
Ro, it's not as creepy as it sounds to meet online, by the way.
No, it's not. No,
I always say, I'm like, oh, my friend, I met them online, and my family are always like, what? Wait a second, what?
Wait, back up. I know. Mom says never meet strangers online, but she could not have been more wrong.
It's true.
Excellent. Yes. Yoshi is really cool to talk to. Absolutely. Excellent. All right. Who is, let's see, I'm usually, okay. Charles, we have your number 3 item.
So last but not least, I'll give the story first. Well, first of all, Pat doesn't know what this one is because we were going back and forth about what we're doing. So now in 100% disclosure and honesty, when we first talked about the 3 things we're bringing to the show, I didn't have this yet. So that's the first reason. So this is the most recent addition to this larger collection. And so I'll start off with the story. I am the youngest of 4 siblings. And back in the late 70s, early 80s, my mom would put the record player on in the family room. And we would each get to choose a record to play. And it would be, with my oldest sister, probably like April Wine or some sort of Canadian alt rock band. My other sister would choose something like maybe The Sound of Music. My brother couldn't give a crap because he's whatever. And I would invariably choose this. And I would fall asleep to the sound of John Williams.
Very nice.
This is an original OG printing and pressing of the original John Williams soundtrack. I've been searching for this.
KSO Records.
You don't even have a record player, sir.
No, but you do, so stop! No, this includes every piece of the...
Wow, the liner notes.
And I've been searching for this for 2 years. Literally 2 years. I've gone to every used record shop. From St. Augustine to Tampa,
Savannah, Georgia,
to Kensington Street, Heidi. I was even on the King of Kensington Street, and the closest I got to this actual item was I sold it 3 days ago. That's how close I've gotten in 2 weeks searching. And I walked into a small store and found it. Now, the small store is called eBay, but that doesn't mean anything at all. Except
you got it. That's the important part.
I was able to get it. So this is the prize of the newest piece of the collection, and I cannot wait to hear it and all its inglorious imperfections, pops, and hisses.
Yeah.
This will be an amazing experience, and that is my 3rd and final entry.
That is amazing. I love it. You could have asked me. I've got 4 of them back here.
What?
Oh no!
Oh, you jerk!
Charles, I used to listen to it as a little girl as well. And then did you sing it like Bill Murray style? Like Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Now I will.
Now you will, yeah. That's fantastic.
That's on YouTube, by the way, if you guys want to check that out. So funny. Bill Murray doing Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
The 70s, what a magical time.
It was.
It was. All right. The other half of Conversations podcast, he's busy looking for something to bring out. What will he bring out? Will it have steps? What will it have?
They're rungs, Joseph. They're rungs.
Right.
I just got outbid on an item on eBay.
Hate when that happens.
So I'm gonna have to go with another item. Unfortunately, I was unable to blur out my former co-host on this one, but this is a photo of my family meeting Mark Hamill, and I guess he's there too. At our first Star Wars celebration, the one in Orlando.
Where's you though?
I'm at the hold on. The top of my head right there. That, believe it or not, that is a beardless me right there. But according to the chat, it's also kind of me there. I don't know.
Wow.
So yeah, so this was when we went to our first Star Wars celebration, and Mark was there. This was 2017.
Which celebration was that? What number?
Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Drop the numbers at that point.
They didn't have numbers anymore. But I had seen him shortly before the film came out in Hollywood Studios at Disney for for the last of the Star Wars weekends, and so he was there with the beard, which was kind of a tell that he was working on a new indie project called Star Wars again. And then, so when we saw him wearing this ridiculous looking sweater, the whole idea was, I remember telling Charles, I said, why is he wearing such a weird looking sweater? And so what had happened was in the, I think, early 80s, he had worn it on an interview on a television show. And then some 10 years later, he was invited back and he happened to wear the same sweater again. And then his wife was like, you wore the same sweater both times you were on the show. So then the next time he was invited back, then he had to wear it. Yes. So he wore it again. So then this was the retirement ceremony for the sweater.
That was the last appearance.
Yes.
Wow.
So that was very special. And of course, we were Return of the Jedi, obviously.
Sure.
Brown Pants Han and this clown, and then Leia and Endor and everything. And then my daughter had a nice Yoda outfit that I had built by hand. That 2 days prior, she said, "Well, if we're meeting Mark, then it's present day Mark, which is not Return of the Jedi Mark. So I need to dress as Rey, but not one of the two Rey outfits I have. The one on the island where she hands him the lightsaber." And so
technical.
Yeah. So that was how that went. God love her. But so she needed that, and so we did that, and he was impressed, and we were crying.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. First of all, both of you guys without facial hair, I don't know if I can handle that.
It's a weird thing.
Really bizarre. It doesn't even look like you guys. I know. Not going to be able to sleep tonight. It's really odd.
You can join our wives on their Discord.
Yeah, and it was me who put in the chat that I thought that Pat looked like a young Mark Hamill.
Oh, but with the beard off, I can't even see.
No, well, he's got a beard now. He's got a bit of a beard.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's actually. I'm watching him on a new show, The Fall of the House of Usher. It's so funny. He's really good in that.
Yeah, I haven't started that one too. I was looking at the credits. I'm like, oh, Mark Hamill's in that.
Yeah, he's really good. He's also actually. It's funny. I didn't even know this, but I did a review recently of it was what they do in the shadows, and he has a walk-on role on that. He's so good.
Cool.
Yeah,
very nice.
But no, you do. Have you ever been told that?
Not outside my dreams.
Well, I'm coming in as everyone's known you for a long time, but I'm coming in as like an outside person. So
too long. Yeah.
Too funny. Yeah, he's our own little Luke.
Yeah.
Little Luke.
Aww.
You're my only hope.
Our own little Luke.
Well, I guess his dreams have now been made because you've said it now.
Yep.
See, dreams do come true.
Yep. Too funny. And before we lose DJ to the laughter, our little Luke. All right, DJ, you got your third and final item from your personal vault. What do you got?
Let's see if I can get this guy.
Nice.
So this is the 1979 Boba Fett without the detachable.
So here's the funny thing. There's a friend of mine who claims that he has the one with the detachable firing mechanism, but they were not released to the public. It's a false memory of his.
Yeah. So this guy here was is the only remaining figure from my original collection back when I was a kid.
That's fantastic.
When I was 10, I moved away from my mom and went and lived with my dad. and we were estranged for 12 years. I didn't see her, talk to her, or anything. And after that 12 years, when she met me at the airport, she had this figure with her. And my mom was the one that took me to see all 3 Star Wars movies in the theater, 77, 81, 83. She was the one that took me. And she got me started with this fascination of Star Wars. And for her to save this is the only one that she could find. And to have it with her when we got reconnected, it was pretty powerful. And this will never leave my side.
DJ, you're killing us with emotion.
Yeah, I know.
There's a reason why I collect things, and it's because I'm emotionally connected to things. And if it wasn't for that, then it's just stuff on a shelf somewhere.
Right.
So nearly everything I have has a story to it. I do have knickknacks, but when you to me, I have stuff, but then I have collectibles, and there's a big difference between the two. Pillows or keychains or things like that. Sure, yeah, you pick them up, they're cool, they're neat, but they don't have that story. They don't have that connection, which is to me what a collectible is. And so things like this, things like my helmets that are tangible and can make me feel a certain way, that is a collectible. So
absolutely. And I think
what Danny said.
Again, just going back to what we originally said, I mean, these collectibles have so much meaning to us personally. And I think that that applies to everyone, everyone who collects. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, Ubaldo, we're all crying.
Sorry.
Dang it. Hey, that's a collectible too, Pat.
Yes, it is a collectible. That is the truth.
And
DJ, it looks like it's in good condition too.
Yeah, near mint, of course.
Yeah, did your mom must have kept it? Like, how did you store it all that time?
She just had it out on a shelf. She never messed with it, but it was always there with her on her bookcase, right next to her favorite book, which now I can't. Swan Song was the name of the book. McCarran was the author of that one. But yeah, it's still all the paint is still in good repair.
Yeah.
A couple of chips and cracks in it, but yeah, she kept it up and it just sat there, and she would dust it off every now and then. And ever since I got it back, it's been next to my favorite book. So
that's
there
nice.
it sits on the shelf.
Very nice. Yeah, 1979. So many years ago. But it looks great. It's bittersweet to kind of go through our collection and take a look at how many years have passed since we remember it being new. A lot of our stuff is fading and tearing and old, just like us to some degree. Unfortunately, but yeah, wonderful stuff. DJ, thank you so much. Beautiful story. All right, Heidi is up next. What else do you got?
Well, it's funny because I'd had some other things, but I have another Blade Runner because it's, but it's funny because Charles was saying it was his 50th birthday and he got that collectible. Well, anyway, I got these for my husband. It went on his 50th birthday because we were such huge Blade Runner fans. So I got these two comic books. These I think came out I think a year or two after the release of Blade Runner. So and I got them from a collector. He put them in the packaging and they've been pretty much in this packaging ever since. So they're in mint condition, but I thought they were really cool. So it's these were actually by Marvel. just a retelling of the story. So I thought that was
That's
kind of a
great.
cool little thing to have
Do
as
you-
a collectible.
Does anybody know how long the Blade Runner Marvel comic run was? Obviously, this is issue 1 and 2, but
I think there were only 2. Just
oh,
the
okay.
2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
really
yeah.
nice.
So I thought that was a nice little thing. Because this one says the dramatic conclusion to the hit film starring Harrison Ford.
Got
And this
both
one says a comic art classic by Archie Goodwin. So yeah, the official comics adaptation of the new sci-fi thriller starring Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of fun.
Goodwin was one of those prolific artists that were you saw his work on almost every comic in the 80s, which is great.
Yeah, and again, like, you know, speaking of like my son, like he's sort of getting into comics and stuff like that too. So I really kind of support him on that. Yeah, I support him. He has plushes, he's got like action figures, he's got, I don't know, comics. He's getting into manga, I'm getting, so I'm all for supporting him on that. And he's a really good little artist himself. So
very nice.
Try to encourage it.
That's cool.
Thanks so much for letting me share my things, by the way, guys.
Oh, this is fantastic. Love it. And it's, a family that nerds together,
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. We nerd out a lot.
Family that nerds together, herds together.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so funny.
Grouping a herd.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, and actually, it sounds like, Pat, you guys go to Comic-Con together, your whole family and everything. That's really fun.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took my son to his first con just this past summer, and I said, we just went for the day. I said, but if you really enjoy it, I'll get you a full pass. So, he's probably going to do that next year.
Very nice.
Nice.
Bring him to Chicago in October.
Yes. No, in April too.
In April too. Actually, we definitely should get together a C2E2 group because C2E2 is so much fun, and then obviously we get to hang out with our friends in the 501st, and
don't forget
I should come down because we have
Day.
we have like Porter flies out of Toronto and goes directly to Chicago. It's apparently just a 1 hour flight. I should come down. It would be so much fun to meet you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. That would be amazing. We will definitely get into a lot of trouble down here. All right, Nicole, you're up.
I'm up. Oh, hey. So I have decided you're going to have to all stay with me just for a moment because I'm actually going to switch around my thing so I can show you guys on my camera. Growing up, I loved Little Mermaid. That was like my favorite princess, and that's who I grew up with. Okay. And well, lo and behold, what I did not know is that my brother actually knew one of the animators from The Little Mermaid. But how does that have anything to do with Star Wars, you ask? Well, it's this guy right behind me, and I'm going to show you guys. Give me 1 second. Hang here with me, because you guys are going to get a little bit of close-up of, it's autographed by Philo Barnhart. Hello. Let's try this again, because it's not working at the moment. Let's try this again. Can y'all see this? Can you see Leia?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's Cinderella. There's Belle. And then all of a sudden, if you get really close, there is R2-D2. Can you see Leia? There's that lighting really bad. I will take another picture. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Well, I'm just having a really rough night with my things really being a stinker. So, but look at all that amazing. But it's also by Final Barnhart, and it is signed. He signed it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
And I got to meet him last year at Dark Arts and Oddities, which is actually he's actually coming again down to DeKalb next month. I'm so excited. I'm hoping he brings some more cool stuff. But when I saw this, he's like, yeah, he actually did it when Star Wars got bought out by Disney. He had created this, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Somebody who is one of my favorite Disney animators. He's retired and goes to various cons, and then to have Leia, there too. I absolutely loved it. I'm sorry, y'all. I was hoping to flip my thing. I'm not usually this technical challenge. It's been a long time since I've had to do this on my cell phone, but I was like, I'm not giving up. I will not flip.
Sure. It's a beautiful print, very colorful and really
Mhm.
really nice. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
gorgeous. It's absolutely love it.
Is that your only print from the artist?
No, I've got more. I
Wow, very
actually
nice.
have an Ariel one. I know I actually gave my best friend a Mickey Mouse one that he did. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
Oh,
And usually he'll also gift one out like freehand too. You can also actually have him do some stuff personalized, which is really cool. So,
Very nice.
Nicole,
Very
how old is your daughter?
we don't talk about such things. I have an older teenager, if you can believe it. So, she's
When
17.
she was growing up, was she really into into Disney like you, or into Star Wars or any
She's
of the
gotten
fandom?
into Morty. I know she's like Rick and Morty. She's gotten into
Oh yeah.
Star Wars a little when she was younger, but then she kind of she's going through her own thing, but Rick and Morty's her big thing. She loves Coraline. She does like some
Oh,
Disney, like
yes.
Lilo and Stitch. So she's got her own little quirks, like like we're the rest of us who are with our teens and our kids. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Actually, my boys love Coraline as well.
oh, I love Coraline.
Yeah,
I wish they'd bring it
it's
back
really
to
good.
theaters and put in 3D.
Mhm.
Would love to see that.
Yeah. Coraline was great. I got it on DVD. I watched it with my son. It's
Love
it's very inventive. Yeah.
I love the
we-
music. Very hauntingly beautiful.
Very
Mhm.
nice. Yeah. We were talking about C2E2 earlier, and we just got a Phil TMNT sighting in the chat. Phil, thanks for stopping by. We saw him at
Oh, we
C2E2.
did.
Yeah.
We did see
So,
him.
hail Phil.
Mhm.
Excellent. Yeah. DJ,
Someone said Jar Jar tape dispenser. Is there such a thing?
there's I don't know if there's a Jar Jar tape dispenser. There's a C3PO tape dispenser that is that looks kind of rated R because he's sitting
Oh,
back, and the
that's
tape is
disturbing.
coming out of from between his legs, so it's kind of a weird thing. Yeah.
Daniel's also a great setup whenever he sees it, not just this
It's like-
great card.
There's probably a series of like slightly pornographic Star Wars collectibles, I bet you, out there.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. There sure is.
Well,
So I'm taking it there.
Lo and behold.
DJ says that he could guess what my next and last item is, and no, it's not a signed copy of The Last Jedi from Brian Johnson. I wish it was, because then I can file it. So my last thing, I'm gonna pull this up quickly because it's kind of like an honorable mention, but it's kind of unique. It's a custom made Ezra lightsaber /
Nice.
blaster. And again, I got this from eBay, but it's so interesting because it looks like a stapler gun from
Yeah.
Earth.
Home Depot. But it's it's cool. It's got the little hook. It's the lightsaber and laser blaster from Rebels from Ezra. But what I really wanted to show, and this definitely has a story, is
Oh,
this I think it's from the micro collection, but it's numbered and museum graded, limited edition. So a couple of years ago, I saw that somebody was selling an AT-AT for $50 on Craigslist, and I communicated with that person and said, "Hey, where are you located? I've got $50 that I want to give you if you wanted to give me this AT-AT." They sent a picture, so I didn't know how big it was. I didn't know how small it was, but I got the person's address, and they were in a far western suburb here in Chicago. And one morning I started driving out there, and I was really happy, obviously, because I was going to go and get this. It's a beautiful AT-AT. It's weathered. It's very nicely sculpted, and obviously, again, I love all things, Imperial. On my way to this guy's house to pick this up, I get a phone call, and it's a client of mine. I had set up a voiceover recording session at my studio at the same time that I was driving out to the suburbs to get this. I had totally forgot, and I had to make an excuse that I was going to an emergency something. But
An emergency something.
long story short, I lost the client, but I gained an AT-AT. So, priorities, my friends. Absolutely. And-
Go ahead.
I mean, these are things that, like I said, when we thrift store, we visit thrift stores and stuff like that, and we find some cool stuff. I can't remember the last time I was on Craigslist. Must have been like in the early 90s, but it's been really great to be able to find, stuff on the secondary market. And not, again, not really having to play or pay, like retail prices. Todd Hoffman is in the house. We just mentioned you, so your ears must have been ringing.
Bro,
yeah.
can I do a real quick bonus? Because it kind of relates to yours, but it's
Sure.
also a really cool tip, though, as we approach the holiday season. So this is, I think this is from last year's, or maybe it's the year before. I don't know if you can see that. It is the holiday pin from her universe. It's an AT-AT.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, here's the tip. Okay, her universe, Ashley Eckstein actually will design holiday pins, and when you buy so much merchandise, she will send you an autographed pin. And there's only 20, usually 2,500 done. So I actually have several autographed pins from Ashley Eckstein. And so in November, usually coming up, that's the tip. There you go. Be looking. You want an Ashley Eckstein? You haven't been able to meet her? Like, that's how I actually originally did it, because I was like, well, when will I ever meet Ashley Eckstein? I've actually got 2 of these so far. And this is like 329. So it's the 300. And she signs them. She numbers them. There was 20. I think every time I've seen them, it's always been up 2,500.
Very nice.
So I'm from her universe.
Nice.
Yep.
We were in the same room as her the last.
I know. And you and I remember I had a very big dilemma trying to make decisions that day. I remember.
Yeah.
Like, do I do this? Do I not do this? So
yes, fun stuff. And then obviously Todd is bragging that he actually met her. And
I know. He's so cool.
We did see the pictures with both the T's, big T and little T.
I know. And the 501 first that they had, that was so good. Good.
Fun stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So much fun. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been fantastic. We all, I'm not forgetting anybody. Everybody got to go through their third and final item. That's correct. Very nice. Very nice.
Bonus Rebel.
And the bonus ones. Guys, it has been fantastic. And yes, collectibles are ingrained in our DNA. The stuff that we love and the stuff that we collect are very personal to us. We have heard some really amazing stories regarding some of the items that we pulled out of our vault. I want to thank the panel for allowing us a peek into our own psyche. I think I didn't realize how deep we were going to go when it came to these stories, but it really is something that kind of is special to all of us who collect. And chat, if you guys collect something, please share it with us. Tag us on Scarif Podcast on the Twitter there, or contact one of us. But it has been such an amazing show tonight, conversation between all of you guys. And thank you on behalf of Brad and myself here at the Scuttlebutt Podcast. And our chat has been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Woo woo. I was going to, I'm gonna do a giveaway. We did a September giveaway, but we're gonna do an October giveaway. I did find a whole bunch of like little things, action figures, t-shirts, and things like that. I'm gonna put together a Scarif Scuttlebutt swag pack for for somebody to win, whether you're watching this on the replay or you're in the chat right now. I want, what did I think of? It's going to be kind of like a conglomeration of like a whole bunch of things. Action figures. I've got some stickers. I've got pins. I've got t-shirts and stuff like that. Marvel, Star Wars, whatever. But I'm putting together a box of stuff for somebody to win. But I need you guys to do the following. Follow all of us. And what I do want you to do.
I can't do it.
Yeah. Follow us all.
This way, there.
Tell us a story about your collectible, something special in your own vault, and tag Scarif Podcast, and also use the hashtag We Are Red 5, because we are part of the Red 5 network. But I do want to hear some of your stories. Just record yourself, either voice note or tell us a little bit about what your collectible story is, something special. You guys heard a lot of special stories tonight, and I know you guys have something special in mind. So like I said, if you have anything special, we would really love to hear it and share it with us. And then I'll pass it around. We're going to do this contest. Let's see. Let's go for right before Halloween. So maybe what is today? Today is the 14th. Let's the 25th.
25th. I was just thinking the 25th. See, the fives. It's the five, bro.
October 25th, I will go ahead and make an announcement randomly to whoever enters our giveaway for October. So again, I love giving stuff away. I got a lot of stuff, and I did, it brings happiness to people.
I know you do, because you and we're cooking up something for
the Red 5 reading. Oh my God.
From C2.
It's right here. Yes, here it is. I'm going to show it too, because
this is gorgeous, y'all, and I know how much they work. So
the Red 5 Reading Club, when we get that going and we start really, getting busy, there's a couple of bookmarks that I am going to donate on behalf of the podcast to the account in order for us to kind of get some traction going. But this is a metallic Bo-Katan bookmark.
Ooh. They're metal, y'all. They are heavy.
They're metal.
They're excellent.
Beautiful. I'll autograph the back of it if you want.
Number it, please. Number it.
Yeah, number it. I'm not on Cameo, but that's another story. Hashtag if you know, you know. But absolutely. So we'll be doing that. Follow us all on the Red 5 Network and on the panel here. We love doing some collaborations. Heidi and I have one coming up soon, relatively soon, and I am so excited. I love teaming up with the prop store people. Can you tell the folks a little bit about when we have that planned and what it is?
Well, I think, we're recording it. So we'll announce the date, but basically Prop Store, they have two stations. They have one in the UK and one in California. So we did one recently with the California one. We're doing one with the UK. It's a huge, massive auction that's going to be, I think it's going in from like November 7 to 11, but it's open now. But one of the things is Anthony Daniels has put up his collection on there. So we're going to be talking about that. There is, I am kind of excited because there's Game of Thrones on there. There is Blade Runner again. There is Katniss Everdeen, if anyone likes the Hunger Games. There's so much stuff. There's like classic stuff like that goes back to like the 40s and 50s. And then there's contemporary stuff. So it's just going to be awesome. So Ro and I are going to pick out 5 items that we want to talk about. And I think what we're going to do is I'm picking 2, you're picking 2, and then we're going to open it up to the audience to decide on the 5th one. Is that what we decided?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Well, I think
Had
that
me
one
at
might be already done.
C3PO.
I think we've already got that one. I think that one's already spoken. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Trevor
think
already went with that one.
C3PO's helmet, the head, I think is
Yeah.
one of their signature pieces because there's a shot of Anthony Daniels holding it,
Yes.
getting it ready for auction.
And I
Uh,
think,
Oh my
and I
God.
think that his gloves as well, or
right, his
the hands
gloves.
and
There
boots.
are the neck bolts. There's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff. I mean, the catalog is huge. When you
May
send
I
out the
ask a
catalog, I'm
question?
flipping through it. Yeah.
Yes.
When big stars like this, like Anthony Daniels, when he turns this over, do we know? Does he do it like as a fundraiser, or does he do it just because? Do we know any background information sometimes as to why?
Well, I know in the case of like Debbie Reynolds, for instance, when she sold off her huge collection, she couldn't, before she passed away.
Mhm.
She had one of the largest collections of costumes and props in the world, apparently. And she'd wanted to open up a museum, but she just couldn't manage it anymore. And so she got to the point where she's like, I can't open a museum. I don't have the money to handle it anymore. So she decided to just put it up for auction. And now in the case of him, it might just be he wants, maybe he's had it this long and he just wants to pass it on to somebody else, or maybe he wants the money. I don't know. Like, I don't know that they said, Ro, did you read about it, or?
No, I didn't. And I know
Yeah.
sometimes,
You can
the
ask them
actors,
that question,
sometimes the actors are used by the production companies to
Mhm.
kind of get collections or items out to the public. Um,
Mhm.
so like a lot of these things, I'm not sure if they were actually Anthony Daniels. I think some of them were, but yeah, a lot of the actors, especially him. I mean, he's been in every Star Wars incarnation from all the shows, and obviously recently he was in the Ahsoka show. So he's one of those actors that's been around for a long time, and I'm sure he's got like some of his favorite items. Yeah, it's really great to see those items that were screen used and part of history go out to private collectors. I've got my credit card around here
Sometimes
somewhere.
yeah, and I mean sometimes museums buy them.
Sure.
Sometimes like Ripley's, which Ripley's Believe It or Not, like they sometimes buy them and put them on display, that
Sure.
type of thing. So the one thing I really would have loved is the costume designer for Blade Runner. His complete book of all his Polar is going up for auction. Charles Node, who also did a lot of Monty Python, by the way.
Oh wow.
And Braveheart. Anyway, that was one thing I'm like, oh my God, I would have loved to have had that. It's only like, I don't know, 50,000 pounds or something. But that would have been my dream. That would have been my dream purchase.
Yeah. Wow. Really cool. Excellent. All right, chat. Thank you again for hanging out with us Saturday night. It's been a blast. It's been wonderful having you guys on as well and hearing a lot of wonderful stories. Why don't you tell the lovely folks in the chat and in the replay where people can find you, starting with Charles?
Well, you can find us on, I don't do this in the podcast, on Twitter at Swations, Facebook at Conversations.
Do you want me to take over for you?
Take over, Pat.
All right. Well, the very best place you can find us is on our website at conversations.com. We are on facebook.com/conversations, Twitter, X Twitter. It used to be Twitter. Now it's the X.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not calling it that.
Twitter. I have no social media footprint. So
right.
And because of socials. That's the funny part of it.
Twitter at Swations. We are Conversations on Instagram. We're on Threads at Conversations there. We have an Etsy shop, Commerce Swations. And of course, we are a part of a...
Spit it out.
We are a proud founding
member of the Red 5 network at bio.link/Red5.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And DJ from the Exegesis.
All right. So, yeah, I have two at Red4Charlie, which is more of my personal one. And then at the Exegesis R5 on Twitter. I'm sure I have other stuff that I never check, but it's, I barely can keep up with Twitter X. So I mean, yeah, I have an Instagram, I think, somewhere. But yes, and as Pat so delicately said, you could always find us at bio.lake/red5.
Beautiful. And DJ is also a proud founding member of the Red 5 Network. He was one of the original 10. Back when you did, what was the name of your the podcast? Star Wars.
Yeah, before I got hit with the cease and desist from Lucasfilm. Star Wars Through the Ages was the name of that one. And yeah, they sent me a couple of nice, lovely letters. I should have showed those for collectibles.
So you really know it's
Do you
autographed.
still have
You
them?
really know you've made it in Star Wars podcasting when you get your first cease and desist.
Yeah, it's too funny. I'm surprised they haven't come after me.
Shh, don't tell them.
Yeah, don't tell them. That's why I don't tag them directly. They're like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Brad,
Funny.
for you.
Yeah. And
Brad's deleting files from the
right,
Jedi
Brad,
archive.
right. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, too funny.
As you're uploading them.
Rob's gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah.
There you go. There's the mention.
Fired.
Shots fired. And wonderful Heidi. Again, like I said, I love when you're on the show with me, and when I'm on the show with you. It's we have such a wonderful time, and can't
We
wait
do.
to our future collaborations. But why don't you tell folks where people can find you?
Sure. So I have a YouTube channel called Costume Co. And I do, analysis of movies, but through a costume lens. Like I'm really into costumes, which is why I have that name, I suppose. And on Twitter, I'm Costume Cinemato, which I know sounds weird, but that's my handle there, as well as on Instagram. And I'm always kind of hanging out with you, Ro. We chat back and forth all the time. And I just want to say you have the best followers, by the way. They're so awesome.
We do. We love our followers, and we love our collaborators, our partners, our friends, our Red 5 family. And speaking of family, Nicole.
All
What you got?
right. As you heard, I am Nicole. On Twitter X, I am not Peace Love Star Wars, but I am actually Peace Love Fandoms because I love many, many fandoms,
She does.
as well as Instagram and TikTok. I am one half of Peace Love Disney on Facebook page, and 1/3 of Used and Abused, and spearheading the Red 5 Network's Red 5 Reading Book Club that starts again November 1st. We'll be doing Heir to the Empire.
Very nice. I can't wait to get into all that. I don't do a lot of reading, but I'm gonna,
Try.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
So proud of you, Ro.
make some time.
He'll learn one of these days.
I'll learn one of these. I'm past the vowels now. I'm on the consonants, so that's good.
There's like way more of them, man.
Line
way
is sometimes
more.
a consonant, by the way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I got to dig up my old Heir to the Empire book and flip through. Maybe I'll find an old $5 bill that I remember putting in that book. That would be funny. Very nice.
You could use your new bookmark.
Yes.
Unless you're giving them away.
No, that one I'm giving away. Oh,
Okay.
I have what's the other one I'm
Oh,
not giving
we
away?
kind of hit the jack. Well, yeah, but
Oh, DJ, check this out. This is the one I'm not giving away.
Ooh.
It is. Hold on a second.
Is that what I think it is? I
It's,
remember that.
is
Oh
what
my
you think it
gosh.
is.
Oh, beautiful.
Let
Is
me
it metal
tell
as
you.
well?
Imperial
Do you
tincture.
remember? Do you have the card to that? Who that was? Like I remember you and I just kept going back to him because we were just like wowed by this artist.
Yeah.
He had both bookmarks and bigger pieces. They were on metal and they were
Mhm.
gorgeous pieces.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to, this April when we go back,
I can't wait.
we definitely have to take note. And remember in the chat, I have a pinned comment up there. Visit Sean's Etsy shop. He's got some really great stickers. Again, he's taking a hiatus until the 22nd. But he's a wonderful artist, and he's got a YouTube channel as well where he does these little tutorials and talks about art and comic books. And it's really a lot of fun. these stickers look amazing in real life. I mean, they're very colorful in on, you know, on the internet, but when you're holding it, the die cut is beautiful. The colors are really nice. And who doesn't love cave women, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Frank Franzella. Franzella? Am I saying it right?
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Any final thoughts from anybody?
I just
Nothing?
want to
We're
say
good?
thanks so much for having me join you guys and you know, making me feel so welcome. Thanks, Nicole, and all of you gentlemen.
Yeah. I will definitely be following it. I'm like all excited. I'm like, oh my God, Anne, let's talk about it. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
absolutely. Excellent.
followed.
All right. We have a new episode of the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast coming next Thursday. We have our new drops, obviously, on Thursdays. Got together with some friends and did some quick cuts episode. Brad is back. As you know, we did our review of the entire series of the Ahsoka show. You know, we talked about that. And we're going to be recording some new episodes with Brad. I'm so glad to have him back. We're going to podcast like it's 2019, but wonderful stuff. Yeah, until next time, just make sure to listen to some of our broadcasts. And if you're catching us on the replay, thank you very much for finding the Scarif podcast. We do live shows every Saturday nights at 7, usually at 7. Tonight we accommodated one of our guests, so thank you very much for sticking with us. I know it's past Danny's bedtime. Absolutely. But until next time, this is Ro and my wonderful panel. You guys are fantastic, and the chat is wonderful. Until next time, that is the Scuttlebutt. Talk to you guys later.